wanted the smoke, so let's bring the fire. We're igniting the drama and chaos. This is Matches and Mayhem. We are your ride or die hosts, Nora, the Vendetta Queen, Raquel, Cutthroat Contessa, Victor, the Duel Master, and Iraq, the Double Agent. Get ready for a reckoning as we dive into the gauntlet of season 40 of the challenge. Battle of the Eras. You know what's crazy? I didn't see you guys because I had you hidden, but I could just hear what's happening.
So, do y'all feel like you ran TJ's final too after watching all that swimming? So much swimming. Oh my gosh.
Too much swimming.
Just nothing but swimming. I mean,
I want to tell you guys a funny thing. So, TJ's announcing the results, and I think I misheard him. And at first he says, we counted up the karma points and didn't affect anything. And I looked at Raquel, I'm like, motherfucker, this whole season talking about karma points, and it didn't mean shit. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, for the guys. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's not how I remember. I remember you pausing it, getting up, going like this, talking, and then sitting down.
Oh, Eric, you downplaying it, huh? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Punched a couple holes in the wall, came back.
I might have had to go outside with the shotgun, let a couple of shots out in the air. Mm-hmm. But it just felt like, damn, man, this whole time you've been hyping up karma points, and it didn't mean a thing. Now, it did, but for that, like, split second, it just felt like it didn't pay off. Is that the feeling you guys got?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with the payoff for the girls, I still feel kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it was like evident that they didn't think this whole thing through. Like, what if there's a tie? What if this other thing happens? Like, they didn't think it through. And I think we, as viewers, like, we all felt that. So
the big karma plot twist. Woo! It was the most like uneventful plot twist I think they ever had. I was like, okay, like the karma points. Guys didn't do anything. It's like, okay, and then the girls, it was just like uneventful. I was like, all right, karma point, let's just get it over with. They really banked on this. Be careful how you treat people. Who cares? This is a challenge. You're gonna, backstab people. People are gonna not like you for whatever reason. I think the karma points, it was just bad. And I'm mad that was the only twist that was introduced other than split you up from Eras' individual game.
And so jumping to the girls' side, when they announced that the karma points did cause movement and it caused Rachel to move all the way up. We've been hyping up Rachel this season, at least in the earlier parts when she was doing her best and she was winning eliminations and challenges. And we're like, wow, she's doing awesome. But in the final, she didn't do that hot. And then for her to have the karma points move her up to first place or tied first place, it didn't feel as good as I thought it might have felt. If you told me earlier in the season, it kind of felt like, man, you got saved by the karma points, but you didn't perform that great in the finale.
I agree.
Yeah. I think Jenny was still first, right?
Yeah, she was.
So I think it was well deserved. I mean, she complained and bitched a lot, but when it came down to performing, like she was performing. I mean, better than the other girls, and it was pretty tight for a lot of the female races they had, and the female they were even doing better than most of the guys. So I feel like it should have been a overall individual game, no men, no women, because I think it was a pretty fair, competition maybe, and the women were killing it. So I think that this particular final, I think it could have been a mixed final.
Yeah, Jenny surprised me because when they were like counting all the coins, I thought she was making up numbers. I even told Eric, I'm like, I'm pretty sure because she's so exhausted, she didn't really count. She's just going to go in there and guess. And she did so much better than I would have ever anticipated. Because she was off by like less than 100, I think. And I was just like blown away. Like she's she's complaining a lot, but she's actually getting shit done.
Yeah. And I was telling her,
feel
I was
like
like,
Jordan
if you're so
is-
far off from a number, like if it's like, if you're like 7,192, I'm gonna assume that the number might be either like 7,200 or 7,000 straight. I might try to like just because maybe you overcounted, right, because of the sleep. I would have changed my number, but
Like Tori
yeah, Tori was. That's what I was like.
stayed up an extra hour to count a fake 1,000 coins that weren't there.
Oh, she probably like skipped from like 5,000 to 6,000 at one point. Like she just jumped 1,000, didn't
Something.
even notice.
But yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Jordan is never gonna come back if Jenny's gonna be there. I feel like he has a lot of dislike for Jenny. The rage he had yelling at her at so many points. We didn't hear him yell all season at anybody else but Jenny multiple times. And I mean, she was complaining a lot, but his rage, it was like instant. By day 2, one word out of her mouth and he was already screaming. Like, just...
Patented Jordan woman yelling at woman rage.
Let's see you try that with Turbo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he wants to smoke either way, so he'll
Yeah.
take that turbo muck. So just to, we're starting at the end here because the final results, Jordan wins for the guys, Derek gets second place, Bananas gets third place, and Kyland gets fourth place. And they did the same with the karma points, so I think Derek won the karma points, but wasn't enough for him to push him up. And then for the women, Jenny and Rachel ended up tying because Rachel got all those karma points. Michelle gets third place. She gets bumped down from second place. And it seemed like she didn't get any help from the karma points. And then Tori got last place. Anything stand out to you guys there as far as winners or losers?
So Tori was in fourth place the whole time?
Yeah. Yeah.
From what I remember, she was, I mean, besides the counting, I think she was doing pretty well a lot of the challenges. Right? Or no?
No.
Damn.
She was getting a lot of fourths. Especially towards on day 2. She was getting third or fourth places. Well, actually, on day 2, she turned it around a little bit. She got, after the fourth place in the overnight, she got a second, a third, and then the final was a third. So yeah, she was towards the back. I think it was more so she never won at all.
Yeah. But Michelle surprised me though. Like I was saying, she performed. I mean, she was fourth a few, but she got a couple first place, I think. And overall, she was doing decent, like better than I thought she would have done in the final.
Because of the swimming part.
Yeah.
She's a swimmer. But it was hilarious to me when she was begging Derek to like lose so that she could get that advantage. And he's like, yeah, sure. But he's like, whatever.
He waited. He gave her a few seconds.
He did.
He's like trying his best. Like, go girl, say it. But
That's the type of shit that tells me to tell her, get the fuck out of here, yo. Please, can you just let me go?
She's so fucking
I'm like,
entitled.
oh my gosh. And
She's
then
so
with
entitled.
the raft, it's like, Kylan, can you help me up?
Yeah.
Kylan, can you help me push my raft out? She
Alright,
always told
you
her,
jump in,
Kylan, can
get
you
the
go get
oar."
my oar that I dropped because I'm
Yeah, I
a
was like,
bubble
yo,
head?
that's crazy that she asked him to do that last one.
that he wasn't gonna jump in that water and swim more, girl. You're stupid for even asking that last one. The other two he didn't mind because it meant no swimming, but he wasn't getting in that water to swim out to your oar.
He's just like, just get out and get it. I love Kylan was ready to snap, the nicest, sweetest guy. And he's like, bitch, you get your ass in the water and get that shit. He was done. Oh my
He was
gosh.
always last place. I felt bad for him, but at the same time, he gained so much respect for me from just still completing it. I mean, not complaining in the sense of he could have been complaining the whole time. Of course, he was shit talking it a little bit, but I mean, he performed well.
He never once
for
said though
what was
this isn't
presented.
fair or anything. Like, sorry to cut you off, but I appreciated that. Like, whereas Jenny and other ones, he never once said this isn't fair. All the swimming isn't fair. Where we know Bananas would have complained about that and said this is a rip.
Yeah.
Like all these things if he didn't know how to swim. So for Kylan, somebody I really didn't care, like or dislike for the longest time, I will actually root for him on another season because I appreciated that. He did what he had to do. He had a smile on his face. He didn't give up. He didn't complain like a baby about it. He just did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Island, on your behalf, let me complain a little bit for you. Because at first, in the first part of the challenge, I mean, the first episode of Final, I was just like, oh, well, if you can't swim, you got to be prepared for everything. But by day 2 of the final, I was a little bit like, all right, man, if like you just stack this against somebody who can't swim. The same way I would said this, like if when they do Sudoku as a puzzle and you don't know how to do Sudoku and you've never done it, it's a little different than other puzzles like visual, where it's like either you know how to do it or you don't. So at a certain point with the swimming, I'm like, sheesh, we finally got the paddling, which Jordan finally showed a weakness. It's, you know, a rough weakness because it's because of his hand. But, you know, it just kind of showed as to a certain point, if you like vary the challenges on the final, it does give you a little more fairness that you're looking for. But the fact that they kept that swimming the whole time, yeah, man, I think you just set it up for some people to do better and shot yourself in the foot, producers, once again.
Yeah, like what happened to like eating gross shit? I was waiting for that. I was like, when TJ was like, there's a nice drink waiting for you, I'm like, man, it is cow semen or something. No, it was actually a coconut water.
I mean, at that point, the twist would have been for them to do real challenge shit. Like, not the karma points, like get them on land and start running their last one. Make them think there's going to be no running or eating, and that be the final one. Like, that would have been a fun twist to see how things pan out.
What did you guys think about the points style versus what we usually get on finals, which is like just keep going and then at the end it's a mad dash to the finish, up a mountain or through a desert, like you know, people racing and you can see real time who's going to win versus, all right, we're going to stop and start and count up points.
As a viewer, it was awful. Like, I don't want to do math. I'm already watching y'all struggling doing math. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to like get my post-it and like write shit down and then wait a whole nother week and like, no, so no.
I think there's a balance, and I think they've had that balance before. I think this was definitely not it. I think it was way too many checkpoints, way too many, you know, points to calculate. I think in prior, series, they would have maybe like overall, maybe like 4 checkpoints. It'll be longer, a lot longer checkpoints, but it'd be 4. So I feel like that was a better balance because you still have the length and then you still have points. So people that are last place feel like they have a chance to get back and all that. But I think there's a balance, and I think this one was just too point heavy.
I think because when they planned this out, they were banking on the karma points, and then they realized the karma points don't mean anything right now. It was too late.
And I don't think the karma points should have been for the end. I think it should have been like starting day 2, karma points should have went into effect to do something. Or at the end of day 1, like you get to sleep or you don't have to eat something. I don't know.
Yes.
Instead of how they use the karma points to just, I think that would have been better.
Yeah. I don't know how popular this was. I didn't love all of the finales the last couple of seasons, but I did sort of like the puzzle station style where you were like running and then you had to stop and do a puzzle, but it wasn't, you know, I don't like the puzzles where you make them do math because it doesn't look good, but where you have to stack something up and make sure it doesn't fall. Because that's a little bit of suspense. Like, do they finally get it? Nope, it keeps falling over. You know, like that type of stopping. And then that helps people catch up. And so Jordan may be the fastest runner, but if he can't get his puzzle to stand up before Kyland, then he gets passed. So you could have done that with the swimming. But I feel with a lot of the swimming, it was like you swam to a certain place. You did something that wasn't that interesting for the most part. And then you swam back. Like the little coin thing that they had to go get next to the skeleton. I was like, that's all right. That whatever. The island of math and coconuts. Like, all right, whatever. So it was like, all right, you're gonna make him swim, but when they stopped swimming, most of the checkpoints weren't interesting enough for me to say, okay, yeah, stop, do that, and then go back. I don't know. It was a very uneven finale.
And the math when they did where you had, I'm not a fan of them having to wait for somebody to do something and then wait for somebody else and wait. I'm not a fan of those checkpoints.
It's just so stupid to me if the challengers are bored waiting for Johnny. What makes you think your viewers are not going to be bored waiting for that checkpoint to be done? Like, what kind of TV making is that? Wow, we're going to make, how great is this? We're going to make people wait for Johnny because he's the last one. But
yeah, bad move.
And it's not a timed challenge, so it didn't make sense to me why that was, like, it didn't make sense to me. It's not a timed thing, so why are we making anybody wait? Like, I don't know. I didn't get it.
You said it was supposed to give it an advantage for the next challenge, but I don't think I remember any advantages that were given. Right? Or was it, did they make Johnny go last?
I think it was just you got more rest. If you got back to the boat, you got to rest.
Yeah.
That was it.
I don't know. He got more coconut water.
Straight on the island, sipping on coconut water.
Yeah. I don't know. I think these, I don't know if it's, you need a good director to talk to production and be like, directors know what looks good and interesting on TV. And a lot of the puzzles that they chose this season and a lot of the stuff, challenges that they chose to do doesn't look interesting from a viewer's perspective. It's like simple as that. Math will never be interesting to me to see somebody struggle to do PEMDAS. Like, stop it. Mm-hmm. So
I was actually telling Nora, I was like, we're watching Traders, and I was like, you know what? The challenge should hire Wes as a director or something, because, I mean, he's done with the challenge, he said, but more like to make it interesting. He has that kind of mind, and he already knows the challenges and the challengers, and I think he'd be really good at creating some cool twists and plots, and it'd be good to have somebody that I think's been through, and also he's been on other, shows, reality TV challenge show type things, and I think he'd be a good director or producer to have. Just my opinion.
I mean, they almost need coaches, like challenge coaches, old challengers, and meaning old experience, nothing to do with their age, but experienced challengers who can talk to these new ones and say, forget about just only trying to win. You need to be interesting enough to be called back. Like, there's a reason why, no offense to Jenny, she's a new champion, but it took how many years from Total Madness for them to call her back? Like, she won and they're like, great, but do we really want her to win again? Let's, and then I guess they were like, well, let's bring her back since she's a champion from the last 10 years. But yeah, they need like Wes and Johnny and, I'm trying to think like Tina to come in and is like, hey, you guys really need to think about being interesting on the show because, some coaching, some direction.
I think that's why Fresh Meat was good when they had it, because they paired a vet and a rookie together, and then the vet, they kind of got to see firsthand how the vet was playing, and the vet also got to tell the rookie, like, all right, this is how we do it here. I think that was kind of like in-show mentoring that I think worked out.
Any other results from the final standings that stood out to you at all? I mean, what do you guys think about Derek? He ended up getting his second place. He was kind of like the dark horse this whole time and kind of fulfilled, didn't beat Jordan, but beat everybody else.
I mean, he performed well all season. I thought he was a layup at first. I mean, he proved me wrong. He's, he said in his interview, he performed well. He did. He beat Jordan on, that one challenge. That was good. He performed well in other challenges. I think this was a good showcase for him. He got to show that he was more than just a layup and somebody that was just, getting by on his social game. Though his social game helped him with the karma points, but that didn't change anything. But still, I think he just did fine. He did good. He proved that he was worthy to run a final and to play second place.
But was he interesting?
I think he was interesting. So, while he wasn't interesting in a traditional sense where he brought, super heavy TV worthy drama or anything. I feel like maybe he's like the metaphor for what this challenge season was supposed to bring. So we've said, you know, many times like production really failed us, right? In a nutshell. But I think when you strip everything away, at its core, the challenge has always been about resilience. And it's always been about like, I don't know, just endurance and all of that. And I feel like every challenge, every episode, he wanted to prove not just something to himself, but like he wanted to prove, he came with a story that was super, super compelling that speaks to the legacy of what the challenge is about.
I think a really interesting thing about Derek that I would have never guessed is how well he could hold his composure at the finale. You know, you didn't see any breakdowns. Like, I don't know why. Just, I guess because his friends are so dramatic, you picture more of, like, him to have more of that dramatic, like, even Michelle, like, the little, like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, you know? And he kind of just went with it, you know? Like, he kept up and, you know, was overcoming, you know, the parts of the finale that are supposed to break you mentally. That's the plan of most of these challenges at the finale. And he held his composure. So I was really proud of him for that.
Yeah.
I think from a competitor standpoint, it was a good story. Obviously, you know, so the story about him and his sister is one of the few personal storylines that they brought this season that felt like natural and because you could tell he really felt it and it really was driving him versus, and I hate to compare like personal stories, but it's the challenge making me do this. A lot of other ones felt forced. A lot like we keep dogging Corey for bringing up his kids and it's not, and he's a great dad, but you know, it's the challenge. Like, bring it up again. Why are you doing this again? Like, they're pushing him to keep talking about it. Or, like, there's just a lot of... The reason I think we kept dogging that this whole season is that just feels forced into the challenge. It's just as you're forcing this heart or this, like, personalization that's just not interesting and doesn't feel natural. Except for Derek's story, because you could feel that his story was natural to his motivation to do well and to believe in himself. And so I commend that. Now, his actual gameplay in the house left a little bit to be desired. But I think that was the story with a lot of people between Jordan, Kyland, even Tori to a certain extent. They tried to avoid any of the drama and... you know, to help their game, and it was like, okay, well, that's disappointing, especially when you know that like Jordan has it in him, or that Derek, I know in some seasons past when he was more of like the party guy, you know, had it in him to stir some trouble. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but I also think they're older, so a lot of this drama, I mean, there's still going to be drama, but I think we probably need a reset of a lot younger crew to get more of that drama. But they need to be interesting. So it's kind of like, I feel like the older people are kind of like, I'm over the drama. I'm not trying to do drama, or, you know, they're being mature or whatever. But I think it's just them not, I mean, Johnny is always going to have a little bit of drama with him. But like Jordan, for instance, was just trying to stand back so he could just win at the end, which he did. So it was a good strategy, but a boring one than what we're used to with Jordan.
And that's the thing. When you have, I mean, shows like Survivor and Big Brother, even though I don't watch them, they've always had older cast members on there. But they know how to manufacture the drama out of these people. You know, so I think that's the challenge struggle this season is like, maybe you do have more mature people in a different part of their lives. How do you manufacture drama out of them? They failed at that because... it ended up just being the Tori versus Johnny show towards the end, where they were just like lobbing back and forth. And
I think because the setup was awful. Like, you can't manufacture drama when like there's nothing there. Like they had them doing math for half the season. What can you? What is so dramatic about that? Nothing. Like, there's just. And I think you brought up this question in, you know, a few episodes back. Like, Is it the production? Is it the show? Or is it the people? And I think they go hand in hand. Like, you can have a great young cast that's like, got great endurance, great this, great at puzzles, whatever. But if the challenges are shitty, like, who cares?
You know what? I think, so you brought up Eric, Big Brother and Survivor. And I think, I haven't seen Survivor, but I'm pretty sure the premise is the same, is that I think the way to get the drama out is to go back to what the challenge used to do. And it was more like house votes. It was people voting out in the open. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just two people making a vote. It was people like arguing and like, oh no, this is it, or you're it. And you're calling each other out. Like, and some shows do it differently, secret ballot. Some do it in the open. I think just having it to where more people are voting, and then people can kind of go around and try to, talk to people, and then the drama comes out when they're discussing. I think that could be an option to get back to that.
See, I think the last result that I want to bring up here is Tori coming in fourth, because there was some hype around, is she like the new top dog for the women and the new like Mount Rushmore person for the women, and she was talking about getting that second win, and she got during the finale. She didn't get a first place at all. Couldn't keep up with Jenny ever. Michelle beat her a couple of times. And then Rachel tore it up with the karma points. So she didn't kind of excel in any, either with the social game or with the actual challenge. So do we have to pump the brakes on that a little bit as far as legend status goes?
So I know we discussed Mount Rushmore. Did we ever we came up with a woman Mount Rushmore, right?
Mm-hmm. We threw names out there.
It was looking, so after Rachel won this is her third final that she's won. I was curious to see who else had 3. I thought, and then it was Veronica and Evelyn also have 3. So those are the 3 women with the highest wins for women: Veronica, Evelyn, and now Rachel. So do they go on, before we get to Tori, do they go on the Mount Rushmore?
I think Veronica's only ever won team ones, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So the fact that she doesn't have like a pair or individual win hurts her case a little bit. Evelyn, I think, is somebody that everybody always says, and I agree, was pretty dominant back in her day. She won team one. She won a pair with Paula. So she has different types of wins. But Rachel now has a decade in between wins, which is pretty epic. It's like, I don't know. Is that like, who else has CT done that? Maybe, I don't know. That's pretty impressive. If we were gonna only add like one of those 3, it probably has to be Rachel.
I can tell you who the hell it's not gonna be. It's Jenny.
Who?
Jenny ain't going on no Mount Rushmore. I'm sorry.
Yo, I don't even know how they would carve her lips.
I mean, she's got the face for it, the stone face.
My God.
Yeah, but how would they get the lips on there, man? How would you? Yeah, I guess some giant ass.
You need like freaking a peak, like Dante's Peak or something, to chisel that out. No. Yeah.
I mean, I think to be on Mount Rushmore, it's not just about what you've done in the past. It's about like your legacy. What would be Veronica's legacy? Eric, do not answer it. I know what you're gonna say. It's about like, what footprint have you left? What impact have you made overall? And I mean, while she's great on the show, I just don't think that she's someone that, like, I don't know, in 10 years when I think about the challenge, Veronica's not going to be the first person on my mind. Eric, don't say nothing, bro.
I'm silent.
Mount Rushmore is just the face. So would it be worth putting her for just that? No.
No.
Good point.
It was if there was a Mount Peak and Valley, maybe.
I think Tori just kind of, I mean, I've said it earlier. I think she's good. I just, right now, she might be a little overhyped right now. I'm surprised that Jenny beat her. Like, I knew Jenny seemed to be a decent competitor. I didn't think she could actually, I didn't think she had the endurance, honestly, to do another final like that, but she did. And Tori kind of like flamed out. I don't know if she's just not a good swimmer, or it's not her strong suit, or she just got,
I think there's just somebody better than her. That's all. Like,
You think Jenny's better than Tori?
I don't think so. I mean, I know so. Did you
We got
watch?
like 18 days of swimming to show for it.
Yeah.
And it's not like Jenny was a strong swimmer from her own admission. She's like, I don't know how I'm winning this. I'm not even that good of a swimmer, she said. Like,
I mean, she can count better, clearly. So
Yeah.
let's take it to the basics.
Do we think Tori, and I was just thinking about this when we were watching it, and I didn't even ask Victor, so I'm curious to see your guys' take. Could we chalk this up to Tori having the Johnny effect? When you go to war with Johnny, you're so frazzled, you're so kind of all over the place that they tend to always, whoever's at war with him, ends up coming in short, losing. It just kind of happens.
there's a possibility there where it was on the mind. I think it happened to Michelle too, where she was sucking on the island with the math, but she's like, but then she beat Johnny's like, well, at least I beat him, and he's on stuck on. I'm like, girl, you're last for the girls. What are you celebrating?
Yeah.
Why are you thinking about him right now? I think it happens. He owns space in their minds. Even
Yes.
Derek, I was just like, why are you still worried? Like, you're ahead. You're ahead of Johnny. He's getting fourth places now. And Derek's like, I gotta be, Johnny's right behind me.
Yeah.
Like the whole time.
Like, my thing is, like, I'm not trying to downplay, like, what Johnny has done. But my thing is, like, he is no longer a threat. Like, sure, he won 7 times. He is no longer, just let him have that and move on with your life. Jordan I don't know if I'm wrong, but, like, I don't think I'm wrong. I haven't heard Jordan be like, I'm going to take out bananas this season. Like, he's just been focused on his game. People just need to focus on why you are here. If you are here just because you don't want bananas to be here, you're not going to win. Just, like, stop. He's not a threat anymore, guys. Like, chill.
I think if this was a land final, the results would have been pretty different. Jordan probably still would have won. But I think Johnny would have came in second. Or it would have been a closer race between Johnny and Jordan. But I think obviously Jordan's the better overall competitor. But in the challenge, you never know with this, the stops and puzzles they have and all that. But I think Johnny's still a threat. I think Johnny's better than I think if it was a land final or maybe something.
Oh, no, because Kylan does a lot better now.
Well, yeah, but in Kylan, yeah. So, but I still think Johnny's a threat enough to where you can't not take him seriously in a final.
The only reason why I will disagree is because the challenge now relies heavily on your social game and your alliances to move you forward. Like, Bananas doesn't have a strong, I don't know, he doesn't have that many people that are backing him up. So he might not get that far based on just like the social aspect of it. So in that respect, he's not a threat. Just like focus on winning. And
I don't know, man. Somehow every season he charms the pants off just enough people to slide by.
Just enough.
Just enough. Like, yeah, he's never going to be Mr. Popular because a lot of people like to hate on him for good reasons. Sometimes he talks a lot of shit, but he charms just enough people to be like, oh, Aviv, we have never done a challenge before. Let's be best buddies. Oh, Rachel.
And what do these people have in common that he's charming?
They're middle-aged Jewish women.
That's not what I was going for. Never mind. You got to edit that out. That's not what I was going for.
That's Johnny's specialty.
You could have just said women,
locks.
but that's fine.
Holy
Johnny's
shit,
special is like at a bagel shop. You get the lox and cream cheese. This is the Johnny special.
And you get a free foot rub after your order too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Third place for Johnny, and if it's on land, and Kylan probably passes him on land, he could have been in fourth place. He could have been in second place. I don't know. He's definitely not the dominant player, but like Nora said, he reserves a lot of space in some people's minds, and it throws them off their game a little bit. And I think Tori, she didn't have to do this. She didn't have to put herself in Devin's beef, but by doing so, I think she made her last month in the house much harder than it should have been, because she always had to have her guard up or she was getting thrown in. So could have taken a toll.
I'm gonna disagree with something I think Eric you said earlier, that everyone doesn't want to be friends with Johnny. I think it's the opposite. I think everybody wants to be friends with Johnny, and they become friends maybe off season, but always something happens in the house. You know, maybe Johnny and somebody else, and then they get pulled into it. Because Michelle was his friend, Tori was his friend, Carmelita was trying to be his friend at one point, but then, you know, that never goes well for her. But I think people want to be Johnny's friend, but I think Johnny is so, like, I don't know, like, just screwed up that, like, any little thing that happens, he takes it as a personal attack, and then he spends the rest of the season trying to get back at you and holding a grudge.
He's definitely sensitive. He's a sensitive Sally.
Yeah. That's why he loves those foot rubs.
I want to go back to the karma points for a second because they showed a montage again of how people were voting, you know, again. And the one that hurts is like Leroy.
Leroy, yeah.
Why did you do that? Why did you do that? That hurts. That's your boy.
I mean, he said it. You've already won enough. Let me help, somebody else out. Which I'm assuming would be Kylan, is who he was going to give the high points to, I would imagine.
He doesn't know Kylan from two shits on the wall. He's not, he wants Jordan to win his fifth?
No, I think it's more Leroy.
I guess he didn't know who was going to be at the end because he got out day one, but
I think it's more his insecurities of him never winning, and through that he's like, I never won. All these people are, Johnny's won, this guy's won. He just wanted somebody to win that didn't win, even though that didn't happen. But I think he was just fed up with himself.
He's salty.
Yeah, sucking and losing, and he just wanted. And at that point, he didn't care. He was like, I just want somebody else to win.
This is the lesson that all the people out there should take: is people will only ever remember what you have and they don't have, versus looking at what you've been given. Because any success that Leroy has had in the challenge, 80% of it is because he was aligned with Johnny, and 20% of it is when he's aligned with Cam, because they haven't done that many seasons together. So let's be real, Leroy. When you made it far, it was because you were on Johnny's side and you guys teamed up, and he made sure he was always a lightning rod. You never got touched because he was willing to take the heat there. And this is how you repay that, by saying, I think you won too much. All right. Try, I hope when you go back this season on All Stars and you don't have Johnny having your back and you don't have Cam having your back, let's see how well you run the house. Now, well, he has Devin, which sucks because Devin's going to be good. But my point stands.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan of Leroy, so that's whatever.
Damn.
Dang.
What has he done?
Brought Years of Joy and Roy Lee.
No. I'm sorry.
He gave Cam two beautiful babies. We love the bridesmaid, the kooky one who always catches the bouquet.
That's Leroy. Because he really hasn't done anything. It's just like because he's likable. It's like Corey. You really want them to win because they seem like likable people, but it's just this game is not for them.
But then after a certain point of seeing them lose so much, it just gets annoying to me. It's like, all right, well, you're back. Wait,
All right,
Victor,
get off
you
the
look.
show. We're done with you. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, this space could have been reserved for somebody else.
Anyone else find it super sad that Amanda is so obsessed with Tori?
No.
What was the reasoning again? I can never remember why she doesn't like her.
She just think Tori's fake.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but I don't think it's that serious to be like -5.
It's so
Tori,
much energy. Yeah. Go ahead.
she may be right. Tori may be fake, but it's also not real just to be a bitch to everybody. Like that doesn't make you real. You give every opinion of everyone you have all the time, like verbally. Like it's not fake just to not say not nice things to people, even if you believe them. Like that doesn't make you real. But whatever, Amanda, live your life. You ain't gonna win shit either. So
No. She gives off very insecure girl vibes. Like everything, every time she comes on, she just seems so insecure with herself.
So as far as the checkpoints, we talked about them a little bit, but any of these that stand out to you? Did you like any of these?
No.
Kind of just want to forget
Submerging
about those
Terror,
checkpoints.
Mathematical
Honestly,
Leisure, and Champion Cove.
I actually did really like Submerging Terror because those crates were deep in the water, and I love to see people struggling and like trying to get whatever was in the crate out. I don't even that's the one thing is like I have no idea what was actually in that crate. I didn't understand, but whatever it was, they were struggling to unwrap it and unlock it, and seeing them struggle and then have to go up for air real quick. And then rowing, I do like rowing because rowing to me is very good on the challenge. One, it's difficult, not everybody can do it. And two, it's just like a race. You can see who's ahead and who may be able to catch up. So that was the one checkpoint that I really liked. Other than that, yeah, the rest were.
Yeah, it was hard for me to appreciate all the checkpoints because it was just too much water. I don't know. There was just nothing to like get me out of it. It all just felt like one challenge, like one big challenge to me that I'm like, wait, what are they doing now? Like, I just couldn't appreciate it as much as I probably should.
And I couldn't appreciate it because I don't swim, so there's too much water for me.
Wait, you're married to a swimmer here. What's going on?
She never taught me, you know. She never taught me.
I've tried.
Submerging Terror is probably my least favorite one because, and then I felt bad for Kylan because I'm like because he already looked like he was struggling to swim, and now he has to dive and come back. So I was a little worried for my boy, but you know he still pulled through.
He didn't complain like Jenny.
And he didn't quit. And sometimes when people's like, I didn't quit. And it's just like, well, you suck. So I don't care. You should have just quit. For him, I actually don't think that. I was like, man, you should have quit because there was no way you were going to win and you didn't. And I respect that, one. And two, it's good to get a final under your belt for the next seasons when you come back. Because now you know what it's like and you know you can finish it at least. Don't let them give you a running one where you're just going to, murder everybody because you have the experience. So.
He's adding all of this to his algorithm. All the final data, he's inputting it. Pew, 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 pew. Next time, he's going to have all the calculations down. He's going to be ready.
I think that's really it. I was going to ask, are there like anybody in particular or any situations you're excited about for the reunion?
So I want to understand why Olivia and Theo weren't hooking up more in this house.
Me too.
What's happening?
They were cheating me out of points.
For real.
So you want Vanessa Lachey to show up there and it's like, babies? Are you guys having babies yet?
Yeah, that's what I want. And if she's pregnant, I want extra points. I want points for that.
Pregnant.
Nah, I hope not. She needs to be on the next season.
Yeah, I would say she's pregnant. We can't see her no more like that. I mean, the show
just for one
show
season.
can't have her on the...
So let me throw a few ones out there. Cara and Laurel. I'm assuming this is the next and last time these two are in a room for a long time. Interested?
No, I'm sorry. I'm over it.
Okay.
I can't.
Devin and Bananas. A lot of bad blood there. We want to see that.
I want to see.
Yeah, there'll be some good
interaction
one-liners.
with Michelle too, because she was in the middle.
What kind of interactions? They just look so awkward to me. Like, I don't know. They just don't.
I think they look good together.
Coupley. What?
I think they match. They're like a couple that, like, not in like that they look like siblings, but you know.
Yeah, I think they look all right. They're cool.
I
They
don't
deserve
know.
each other.
Is that good or bad?
Whether, I'm not saying they look like Olivia and Theo. It's just like as a pair, they look right for each other. And no matter how fugly it is, when the two souls align as one, even a fugly soul warms the heart.
Yeah. Give me, like, dark,
Nah, they're not ugly. I don't know. I'm not judging. Enough.
I feel like Michelle's gonna cry. I already sense that when Johnny's going in.
Well, are we counting the points from the finales in our thing? Because we can only lose points at this point.
Yeah, we're.
I mean, is the finale two parts? Do we know?
I
if
think
the
so.
finale's
I
gonna...
heard so.
So then, yeah, I
There's
think the
no
first
way.
night, yeah.
It's a boring way, but there's still a way.
Nah, I usually think the finales, not the one for. No, actually, I like the one even for season 39 because
That was a good.
they
fight.
outed
Like,
Jay as a cheater. That shit was hilarious. And he was so butthurt about it. He was just like, with his scrunchy face. Anyway, Tori has beef.
With who?
I don't know. They were yelling everybody was yelling at him. He's not even there. He's on video.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if production is going to come out and talk about all of these conspiracies, like the Jenny not really winning and the Derek not really winning situations. No.
If they were smart, they would have TJ talk about it, but I don't think they'll do that.
TJ's like,
TJ
I'm not
doesn't
standing up for you guys. I ain't standing up for you motherfuckers. I didn't hire you.
He's riding off on his quad like, see you later, fuckers. I'm on summer vacation. Josh is gonna get us talking to probably by the Vacation Alliance. Do we want to see the Reunion King take on the Vacation Alliance? Are we excited for that?
I am. All his friends that he made over the years, just boop, 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 backstab them all. And now he has to face them all on the reunion. Everything he said, all the little flip-flopping he did, so you have to look them in the face and like, see who Josh really is.
Don't be mean to your bestie.
Not my bestie.
After he wished you a happy birthday.
For real.
I know.
He wished me a happy one. It was Sully himself. A little smug smirk. Anyway, I'm curious to see how he's going to defend himself. Also, if Naya's there, I want to see that. Cry over her.
He's not even bothered. Everyone's going crazy over his shaved head.
He shaved it all off?
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to look like you. You're going to be twins. Oh, you're going to be like, brother.
So anybody else we're excited to see back?
I forgot who went home 3 months ago.
A lot of people.
Tony?
Honestly.
Tony time.
Tony time. Yes.
Tony time.
I'm always excited.
Nothing happened really. Like
he had a little early. He had a little cameo though in the trailer, right? In the previews.
Yeah, he took it.
And it was
I didn't see the previews.
Relax.
I didn't see.
Jeez, the inner thoughts, your inner monologue came out. It's kind of nasty. Let's relax there. I don't know if Horacio and Nerys were there. Yeah, we'll have to see who else shows up. But
my most excited thing I always look forward to reunions is the outfits and hairstyles and makeup to see what everybody looks like. That's my favorite part. See how they come.
Did you see how Amanda is gonna come out?
Mm-mm.
Did you see that preview?
We haven't seen the trailer at all yet.
Oh, okay.
I wanna watch it.
I won't spoil it.
It's fine. I don't care. Is it bad or is it ridiculous?
It's just
it's
weird.
Bad for us Christian folk.
It's a whole devil
get
up, like the red.
Yeah, because she calls herself a devil.
She's just trying to get some more followers.
Not cute. It's not cute at all.
Especially for somebody nobody cares about. You don't have a fan. And I'm not trying to be mean. Like, you don't have a fan. All the hundreds of thousands of people who watch, nobody's like, Amanda's my number one. So, like, you trying to be gimmicky, like Bananas or something, it doesn't make sense.
She kind of looks like, if you guys ever seen the animated Hercules movie, the little demon things that follow Hades around. She looks like the little red one. I'm looking forward to the reunions because those are always fun. And yeah, let us know who you guys want to see and why Josh is the number one. Bye.
Lo que mejor